Before we dive into this video, I want you to know that after I filmed it, I realized that a front view is a little harder to see the inhales. You can kind of see the exhales because my stomach will tighten during that moment, but I'm going to try to go with a profile view. It'll just be after the entire video. So if you want to visually kind of see the inhales and exhales in profile view, just watch till the end. All right, I'm here today to talk a little bit about breathing because it is so imperative that we have the proper breathing techniques through all exercises that we do. But especially in the programming that I do for clients, it is imperative in some of the core / pelvic floor exercises because I actually coach to breathing and that breath work tempo rather than just completing reps. So I just want to kind of go over the foundation of inhales and exhales because I think sometimes, most of the time when I have a client go through an inhale, they do the exact opposite as far as what they do with their midsection. So I don't know that we quite understand all the time how our body uses our inhales and our exhales to support the movement we're doing. So my very elementary example, because I think that it doesn't matter who you are or what your level of knowledge is on anatomy, you will understand. So when we inhale, we're taking in, right, oxygen. So we're taking in air. And when we take in air, that's filling up. So if you think about when you blow into a balloon, what happens? The balloon gets bigger. And then when we exhale, we're releasing carbon dioxide. So we are taking out. So again, you take that balloon, and if you haven't tied it off and you just let it go, all the air comes out and it flattens, right? So we need to think about what our muscles are doing during that time and how that really translates to what we physically see in our body. I have on some baggier clothes today. It's cold. So what I'm going to do is kind of pull my sweatshirt up and hope for the best in this visual example. So what ends up happening when I ask a client to inhale is that usually they inhale and they suck in, which is not what we're doing. We're taking in. So there should be no shrinking of the midsection. Instead, it should be an expansion because we're taking in, we're blowing up the balloon, right? Our diaphragm is working to take in and allow that air to enter the body, enter the lungs. So inhale should expand. So we're going to inhale. We're going to feel our ribs go out, fill up the cavity, and then we're going to exhale. And so when you exhale, I can't coach, I can't talk when I'm properly taking inhales and exhales. So that is like a surefire sign for me if I am coaching a client one-on-one and we're doing some ab work where I've told them, we really need to be mindful of active breathing. Inhales, expansion, exhales, everything comes out from the base of the belly. And they're talking to me, I know they're doing it wrong. So you should not be able to hold a conversation when you're really focusing in on your breathing. So inhale, expansion, we're pulling air in. Exhale, we're letting the release of carbon dioxide go. So that is when you get that shrinking, right? It's almost like a airtight bag. When you take all the air out of it, like when you're packing for a trip and you're trying to fit as much as you can into your luggage, that airtight seal. Think of that happening with the diaphragm in your body. So the exhale is the most important. And that is when we're talking about the pelvic floor and strengthening it. That is where you should feel like when you inhale, we're going to inhale, expand, and then exhale. I am taking everything up. I'm trying to lift up that pelvic floor and pull in tight. So it should almost feel like you're zipping up from the base of the pelvic floor all the way up throughout your abdominals. So if you are programming with me and we have a focus on, everybody's gonna have a focus on this, you will come across this video as a way to help you connect the muscles that are working when you inhale and exhale to actually show off what should be happening. So just think inhale, expansion, exhale. We are taking the air out and everything is coming in nice and tight. And this will be applied throughout your programming. All right, as promised, here is a profile view of those inhales and exhales. Lift my arm up so there's no shadow.